the ears live on my shelf and I see them every day, and it makes me think of all the
Yep.
fun that we had together. And I'll put
Yes.
them on for a couple of minutes and then I'll take them off because I get headaches from wearing them. But they're
Yep.
awesome. This is Tingman lore. The video hasn't come out yet, but people will find out what that's
No,
from soon enough.
but it's a symbol of an extremely good day.
Yes, a good trip, really. 2
Mm,
awesome weeks.
a very good trip. Yeah.
How did you recover from your whole Tingman live trip? That was a pretty crazy few weeks of international travel.
Yeah, the jet lag was actually pretty hard on the way back. Um, but it just took a few days of sleeping really early and waking really early, and then I'm totally fine now. Yeah,
Cool.
it was it
Glad to
was it
hear
was
it.
fine. Yeah, and it was nice just plunging straight back into family life. That was cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Mm.
I have a few things I'd love to talk about, but it's mostly hearing a little bit more about who Tingman is and why you do what you do. Because your videos are
Mhm.
always so fun and so cheerful and childish in the best way. But
Mhm.
you're a super sweet and often like deep person when you're
Mhm.
outside of the camera. I don't have a super specific plan, but I was kind of curious if you could start just by talking about why you make cubing videos. On the Tingman Live tour with you, I saw how many people were very deeply and positively affected by your stuff. I always associated your stuff with kind of just like play, but it was like, wow, there are people who are like really impacted by your things. And you
Mm.
told me that some of this is very intentional. So I was curious if you could speak to that.
Why is it that I do what I do? How many hours do you have? How many days do you have?
Got an hour or two. We can go.
um, People will not always remember what you say, but they'll remember how you make them feel. I think that's a mantra which I go by, not necessarily consciously, but it's definitely true for me. The people who have had an impact in my life. I can think of past teachers, past youth leaders, significant people in my life, and I may not always remember what they taught me specifically, but I remember how they made me feel. I remember being feeling seen by different people in my life, feeling validated, feeling like, yeah, I'm actually a person who can make a difference in the world. I think that was part of the reason why I even became a high school teacher in the first place. There were just significant teachers in my life, and if I could just be that to someone else, wow. And so I wonder if I, subconsciously go into YouTube with that attitude as well, that it's a lot easier to, I think, bring people down than to lift them up.
Mm-hmm.
And because people have done that for me, I think I want to do that for others as well. That's probably the nutshell answer of why I think it's important for me. Why I set myself that goal from a really early stage. That okay, if I'm going to be making queuing videos on YouTube, they're going to be wholesome videos.
Mm-hmm.
Part of that was natural. I think the fact that I am a bit of a package deal, I came with my kids because I started cubing with my daughter. I picked up the cube first. My daughter was 6 at the time. I learned it as an adult, of course. I was 33 years old when I first started learning the cube, and my daughter was next to me as I was learning algorithms. And I remember I would go like, okay, right inverted. I used like the Rubik's tutorial, I think, pretty early on. It's crazy that I was calling it right inverted. And she was next to me, and I would hear her whispering, right, right inverted, up inverted. And it was just cute that she was doing that. And then I remember thinking, after a few weeks, I wonder if she could learn too. Anyway, one thing
Yeah.
led to another, and we started cubing together. And so naturally, as I was making cubing videos and vlogs of competitions, she was there the whole time. And so I think that was another factor. Again, not a necessarily conscious decision or a very intentional goal, but since she was there, they were going to be family-friendly videos. They were going to be videos that she could watch, and then that my son could watch. And so, yeah, I think all of those factors coalescing meant that wholesome cubing videos just became the core of what I did really early on. And no looking back. Like, with year after year, I've just been, I think it's really reinforced that that's been the correct goal. That's been the
Yes,
right thing to do. And especially meeting people, as you just said, going on tour, right, meeting all of these families, kids, absolutely, but also their older siblings who are watching the videos as well, or younger siblings watching the videos of their parents, even though they may not be cubers, and seeing that YouTube often is a family event, cubing often is a family thing in some way, and so yeah, if it can be something that's fun and engaging that brings everyone together, I am there for it.
how so? So you said you wanted it to be something your daughter and son could watch. What does that mean? Because I was a very weird kid. The stuff that I wanted to watch is probably not what your daughter and son were wanting to watch. So when you were making video ideas, what were you thinking of? What sort of stuff did your daughter find entertaining?
Yeah. Well, vlogs, family vlogs are in some way very core to what I have always enjoyed and the kinds of videos which I've always made. I'm a cubing content creator, but I think I am more a content creator than I am a cubing content creator, if that makes sense.
Agreed.
I think I went
Yes.
into it that way. And I think I would like to think that's one of the reasons why I've got a bit of longevity in what I do. So even as my interest in cubing has waxed and waned over the years, which is normal, that we go in and out of hobbies a bit, my love for video and content creation has stayed the same. And so that's to say, I've been making family vlogs for a long time. Well, I mean, vlogging my life, and then as I got married, and then as kids came along, just vlogging like our adventures. Most of those vlogs have just been, for us, and so they're not like for the public. But as I started to make vlogs of competitions and cubing events that we went to, it's a vlog, it's a recording of what the experience was like, and that's a really fun thing to just watch back on. The characters are the people in my family, and so, um, uh, sorry, I'm trying to link this to your original question. What are videos that my kids like? My kids like, I mean, they would like to see themselves in a video. When you're quite kind of young, it's pretty cool to see yourself in a video, I think.
Yes.
So, they were at a very young age at that point. And so I think the more I could feature them, the better, because it was just cute seeing them doing stuff on camera. And then thinking to like other different genres of types of cubing videos, we started to then do like challenge videos, head to heads. I like to think that I was one of the early people to sort of develop that, like sort of cubing head to heads and challenge videos. Not that I was the very first, but I think I popularized some versions of it and some forms of it, because I leaned pretty hard into it and was just constantly thinking of new ways that I could make fun videos with kids who are so much younger than me and who are so different in the way that they approach cubing. But, how can we still make it really fun? So I think that was the motivation behind that.
Hmm. What are some of the ways you just said the videos? I wanted to make challenge videos so that I could connect with or work with kids who approach cubing very differently from me. What are some ways that those things are different in your mind? I come at cubing from a very adult angle. So how would you contrast kind of the way kids interact with cubing versus adults in YouTube and in competing and learning the cube?
Yeah. I mean, I'm older than you, dude, so I'm even more like old adult in the way that I approach this. Like I said, I literally learned to speak cube at age 33. The majority of even like old cubers aren't 33 yet. Like
Right.
like Felix is looking forward to. He said he wished that there was like a seniors league that began at 30, like Felix Zemdek, so he could just like dominate it. It's like, dude. Uh, so I mean, you tell me. is my first answer. I think when I say that they approach it differently, I'll use my daughter again as an example. So she's been cubing for, or as long as I have been cubing now, and she's gone through different phases. There were phases where she really just wasn't very interested in just like learning a a lot of algorithms and trying to improve. It was just a total just fun thing for her when she was
Yes.
much younger. And so making videos with her at that point was maybe less about the technicality and about like, I don't know, tips for getting faster and all that stuff. It was really emphasizing the fun of cubing. Um, she now is taking it more seriously, and speed is very important to her now. And so videos with her look a bit different. But I think what I had in mind before when I said that is how do we level the playing field if I need to go head to head against someone who's very different from me? So if I'm racing against my son, who is, quite like a fair bit slower than me, how do we
Yes.
make it fair when we're making a video together? And oh yeah, found so many ways to do that. An easy way, obviously, is just to do different puzzles. And so if you average like 30 seconds on something, I will find something that I average 30 seconds on as well, and then we'll race that. We can also just mathematically just like do the same correct number of puzzles that will add up to the same time. We can add handicaps. We can do all of these things, and it's actually really fun figuring out like how to level it and how to
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like to race and do it. Yeah, I think a lot of my challenge head-to-head videos have been a series of just like figuring out
Yeah.
how to.
Whatever random stuff you
Yeah.
can throw together. What
Mm.
about you as an adult? You are actually very fast for an adult cuber. I didn't really put this together until I've been been around cubing for a few months more focused. And I realized, man, Tingman is actually extremely fast when it comes to people who learn cubing as an adult. Where do you feel limited as an adult in getting faster? Is it like a physical mental limit? Is it just this isn't a wise thing to spend more time on? Is it a mix? Um,
Yeah. I just want to enjoy like and bask in that statement that you just said that Tingman is actually really fast. Those are words that are rarely put together in that sequence. So I'm just gonna let that wash over me and just really enjoy
yes,
that.
you can enjoy
You
the
of course
compliment.
qualified it. You qualified it by saying for someone who learned as an adult, which is true. Um, I put my being able to keep relatively fast to the fact that I am a musician. I play a bunch of instruments, and music's really important to me, and so dexterity and stuff has always been a thing. And maybe that's my personality too, which is the same as almost every Cuba. We just throw ourselves headfirst into things, and we come
Sure.
up for air only when we're about to drown. We cube and cube and cube. Like that's just what we do. It's also accurate to say that am feeling like I'm hitting a ceiling, and it's my improvement is limited. I do feel like I haven't improved for in quite a few events, and I put that down to several factors. One truly is just practicing time, that I just have a lot that I'm doing. Which a lot of people cubers experience as they become an adult, just adulting. I'm a dad, I am a husband, and then I'm a member of church, and I have just lots of things that I do. And so, that's one practical thing. The second thing that I identified is that I have realized that recently, if I have time to cube, I really just want to do it leisurely. I don't really want to learn new algs and like do
Mhm.
this real like targeted intentional practicing. Not that there isn't fun to be had there, but for me, I think the enjoyment really comes from just switching my brain off, grabbing a cube, and just like, I don't know, like one-handed solving for like 30
Yeah,
minutes or
just letting
something while
yourself
there's
relax
music
into
playing.
it.
Yeah, yeah. While there's music playing in the background, or while I'm catching up on an episode of something. Actually, in the last few months, whenever I pick a cube up, usually my daughter's around, and she'll just be like, "Hey, do you want to race?" And I'll be like, "Sure." And so, like most of our and you can prove by doing that, of course. But I wonder if maybe I can't now because I have kind of like maxed out, and like I think what's holding me back now actually really is like slow solving and things like that. Being more clever with my cross solutions, with looking forward to first pair. But like, if my daughter says, "Hey, do you want to hang out and race?" I'm just like, "Yeah, of course I do." Like, I'm not going to say no to like
Yes.
spending time with
Yeah.
my teenage daughter. Like, that's the coolest thing ever. I'm not always going to have that privilege. She may not always think I'm cool. She might move out of the house. Not might. She will move out of the house one day, and so like, I'm going to spend as much time with my kids as I possibly can. And so, yeah, I think that could be another reason why. And then if I had to venture a third reason, it's because I actually really enjoy being a jack of all trades, which maybe results in me being a master of none, because I really early on set myself the goal of like completing all 17 events. And I've managed to do that and managed to get honestly like quite like results that I'm really happy with in every
Yes.
event, apart from getting a 5 blind mean, which like is just so hard.
That's so difficult.
It's so difficult that I just decided it's not worth it. And so I'm like, it's a problem because I've gotten results that I'm truly very happy with. I mean,
Sure.
having that discontent that motivates you is also very important. But I think also having contentment, like I truly am happy with my results. With having gotten like 10 out of 10 in multi-blind, it's crazy. I can't believe I got that. Can I improve on that? Yeah, like I can, but like I really am happy that I got 10 out of 10. I really am happy that I'm like senior world record 2 for OH. I would love to be the top, but like I'm really happy to be second. Like it's such a privilege that I got there. Such an honor. So
Yeah.
I think that's why. Tingman justifying why he hasn't improved for ages.
Well, dude, I don't think that it's something that really needs justified. You're in the top 10 for people over 40. That's exceptionally fast.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's a lot of fun to just grab a cube and chill with it. You don't always have
Yeah.
to be getting faster.
Yeah, that's right. And actually, like in the last few months at least, like, you know, getting to race with my daughter has been just some of the highlights of my days, really. Like after just a lot of work and then like, hey, let's do some racing. It's like, yeah, let's do that. That sounds amazing. Like that's in some ways it's like that's what cubing's about. It's just the joy
Yeah.
of going fast and enjoying it with someone else. It's like so good.
Yes. Do you enjoy the sport of cubing? As in events, how fast people are doing, or is that kind of, it's cool that when Worlds happens to see who's winning, but it's not super engaging for you? Or you're just not interested at all? Like, I don't know. Where do you fall on that spectrum?
You know, I tried to predict some of the questions that you would ask me, and that wasn't one of them. I like it though. What a great question. I am going to say I do. Um, it may not look like I do in some ways because I think I don't necessarily reflect that a lot on my channel. And I'm not always looking out for the latest. It's not like I've always got cubing playing in the background. It's not like I'm tuning into every single video I can of like Speaking TV and Monkey League and like every single, person's whatever update ever. But I do consume what I can. I am in a lot of like it's on a lot of my social media because I just follow a lot of it. And whenever something happens in the sport of sea cubing around the world, like it gets me excited and I tell my kids about it almost right away.
Mm-hmm.
So they, because they're not on social media, but they get a sort of a drip feed of like what happens in the sport through me. When Worlds is on and all that stuff, and when you're there, like how can you not be in it? The hype
Yes.
is so real and it's so exciting. I wonder if maybe like it doesn't look like I am a lot because there just maybe isn't a lot that happens all the time. I also am kind of careful with my relationship with controversy in the cubing world, and there's a lot of that. And it's not like I don't have opinions. I just think that, especially with just who I am as a public figure in cubing, with the niche that I have within this niche of like, being the wholesome cubing content creator, I think I need to be careful with how I weigh in on things. And so I've also, I think, been quite careful with, it just feels to me that a lot of the sport is controversy and just people having opinions on things. And I am careful to, I think, just be neutral on a lot of those things, even though I am not actually personally neutral on many issues. Is that and I would venture that is part of the sport, and so the sport is the result and the people. But I think also these clashes and these controversies that happen. I think that's part of the sport as well. So
Rivalry and
say
controversy is an inherent part of any competitive thing. If you look at traditional athletics, teams that hate each other is the most important part of a team's identity, right? Rival teams are the most attended games,
Yeah.
which is just two teams that have randomly
Yeah.
decided, I hate you uniquely. And then everybody spends more money to come to that game and is especially invested. And controversy fuels traditional sports. So you're right that it's a feature, not a bug. And it also makes sense that you
Yeah.
choose to stay out of it.
That's right. I absolutely hate this team and I love my team for the pure reason that I was born in that city.
Exactly.
And that's
yes. That's the only reason. And I will choose to hate other people just for that reason. Hate is a strong word.
Yeah.
But that's so interesting though that you're saying I do enjoy it. I do consume it. It's interesting because I view cubing almost purely through the lens of speed cubing. The thing that draws me about the cube is the competitive activity, whereas your public channel is all about just the cube itself and about having fun with it.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
What other like dimensions of the cubing community are there? There's the competitive cubers people. There's kind of the puzzles for fun people. Are there more aspects of kind of the whole ecosystem of cubing that you would think about?
Yeah, absolutely. And to me, that's like, it's literally the tip of the iceberg. If we're just talking about competitive cubing and people who take it seriously, the vast majority of cubers, the vast majority of people who watch cubing content on I would say don't even know how to solve a cube. They are people who I think of them as like a cube adjacent. They are so close to it and they find puzzles interesting. And maybe they have once ever solved a cube, or they would say, oh, you know, someone actually told me in church the other day, yeah, the most I've done is 3 sides. And look, maybe they're right. Maybe they did do 3 sides, but you know, they're the type of people who measure how much of the cube they've solved before in sides. And these people still enjoy like puzzles and seeing things get complete. It's satisfying seeing a cube solved that fast.
Yeah.
And I really think they are the vast majority of people who are, I would say, are into cubes because they're watching cube content. They might still be like buying cubes and stuff as well. And so what does it look like to make content for them? What does it look like to make speed cubing accessible to someone who doesn't know the jargon that we do, who don't know all the names of the fast people? How do we bring them in and make it so exciting that they might want to lean in a little bit and go, huh, that's interesting, and then they might stay. And you know, I guess I'm saying that from a YouTube, I don't know, business point of view, because it is in my interest for people to watch my videos and to watch more of my videos. But I think that's on my mind a lot. And you know, you were with me at the tours that we did around the States. Most of a lot of those families who came along, they actually hadn't been to cubing competitions, which to me is
devoted
incredible.
families hadn't been to a single competition. The ones who showed up for like a 6-hour drive 4 hours early had never been to a competition, which that shocked me as well.
It's incredible because to me that's what you do. I thought that's what you do. That's one of the very first things I did, and I think actually what got me into speed cubing so much because so yeah, I was 33, got myself a speed cube. Within a month or two, found out that speed cubing comps exist. They are a thing, and that one was being held in my city in like 4 months, and it was like, I cannot believe it. I was so excited. Instantly signed up for it, and one thing led to another. And so realizing there are so many families who have never, ever gone to a speed cubing competition, that it feels like speed cubing's at arm's length if you've never actually been to a comp. But no, they're in it. They're coming to my shows. They have a ton of cubes. They are the kind of families who their neighbors or their friends would be like, oh yeah, you know, they've got a cubing kid. You know, they've got, they're obsessed with Rubik's cubes. And so, yeah, well, what does it look like to engage with them? What does it look like to make, to actually encourage them to go to competitions? Because I mean, I'm not being like sponsored or funded by the WCA or anything, but you know what they do is amazing, and I think that's where you find your people. That's where a lot of them find connection and realize like, yeah, this is my tribe. These are my people. They get me. They will sit next to me and solve a cube and not talk to me, looking at me in the eye, and that's cool. We get to just focus on this hobby together and talk about stuff and do life together, and yeah, so. I think that this iceberg is a lot bigger than we realize. And
way bigger.
The people who think that way, or content creators who think that way, I think tap into something really, really big.
Absolutely. So now I have a lot of questions about ways that we can like shape the community. So, as a starting question, I guess, what are some ways that the current way competitions run, whether that's the WCA or non-WCA competitions, what are some ways that that could change or improve to capture more of this broader audience of cubers we're talking about? You can answer something about the viewer experience. You can answer something about the competitive experience or the competitor experience, like what it's like going to a competition as an average person, whatever you think. But how could the whole competitive ecosystem change so that those people are more interested?
Dude, your questions are so good. This is actually crazy. I did my homework. I actually have like this whole document of questions that I prepped because I like doing my homework. Didn't predict any of these questions. I literally have like a 4,000 word document right here that's like, it's dot points and it's me just maybe going a little bit overboard with just thoughts and ideas. It's actually really nice prepping. It's not even answering your question at all. I spent yesterday just like going through a lot of stuff and just putting my thoughts on paper was really nice and just thinking through
we can go through your stuff in a second.
No, it's okay.
I have about 50 words in my note document. I don't prep for these. I just kind of riff.
But dude, this is why you're so good at what you do. I actually have to give a shout out to you, and to the audience. Sorry, I'm a YouTuber. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed to Brandon right now, which could be you,
I got the Tingman call to action.
Can you please subscribe to Brandon True? It makes no sense that you're not. If you're enjoying this stuff, like look at the wealth of information. Like look at the people, the breadth of cubers and personalities he's had on his channel. You know you're only going to get more of this. This is like confirmed value that you're going to receive. Please subscribe if you haven't yet.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you,
Tingman. Got it out of my system.
Yeah.
I feel better now. if I haven't said subscribe at some point in a video, I just like feel sick, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, so now stop.
Emotional.
We can go back to the question at hand.
Yes. There are so many things that you can do. You are like, this is such a great question because it taps into so much of how I think and feel as a teacher as well. Have always been about like the student, like, you know, a user-centered experience. And I think that our competitions at the moment, mostly the way they are because of historical reasons, because it started like that ages ago and there's been no reason to change it because it works. Having said that, I think that to the WCA's credit, they have been working on being a bit more, I think, newcomer centric or I don't know, like competitor centric in the past few years. For example, in Australia, at least, they have been giving out newcomer awards at every comp, and so they will quite early on in the comp, after most of the first rounds of events are over, because that's when the newcomers leave. You know, they don't make it to subsequent rounds. They will do newcomer awards and award the top 3 fastest newcomers. That's cool. That to me isn't enough at all, but it shows that you're thinking about the right thing. You're going in the right direction because that's the majority of people who've come along. So I think that's good. But yes, let's say you average like 40 seconds on the 3x3 and you come to a comp and yeah, you maybe might make it into round 2, probably not, maybe. But what does it look like to schedule the comp well for that person? What does it look like to make it interesting for their family as well? What does it look like to, it might be their second or third comp, but it's still new. It might be a new venue and they might be different people in their family who've come along. What does it look like to demystify cubing for them, for them to like, okay, this is a bit weird. Oh, it looks like he's going off to compete now. Or do I just sit here? Okay, cool. Twiddle my thumbs. Actually, no. Phone, of course, social media, whatever. They're done. Okay. Do you have anything left? No. Okay, good. Let's go. Bye. And then you leave, or you may not even say bye to anyone. It's like, what was that experience? Like, that was weird. You just came and, your kid did a thing. So what does it look like? I think to give more clear information as to what's going on, to have, okay, I'm just saying problems. I'm not giving solutions. I think
you can start. We can start with the problems. It's okay if you just list like, here are pain points, and then
Okay,
you can, go
well,
from
that's
there.
one. Yeah, I think that for a lot of families, it's just a bit of a confusing experience. The kid might know what's going on, but the parent is just like, I'm not really sure what's happening. Oh, that looks like they're competing now. I'll take my phone out and film. But it's like, I have no concept of like the flow of these few days, of the fact that there are things at stake because there are people here who are trying to defend their titles. There actually are like, I don't know, what we're on the watch for a world record, because this person is here. Like, this is actually really, really exciting. I don't think that that's clear. Um, and I think doing it badly can make it worse. It's not like, so for example, most of the comps that I go to, Charlie Eggins is there, and
Mhm.
he can break a world record in any round of three blind. But and you don't want to do it badly by just announcing that at the start, like, hey guys, we've got Charlie Eggins here. Everyone watch him. We might break a world record. Like, that's just going to pressure him. But, is there a way that we could? Is there like an information little handout thing that could be given out at the start to people who come along? Look out for this. Is there? I think that Worlds did it really well. And we may not have the budget or time like prep that we had for Worlds, obviously, but if I think we can look to gold standards, to best practice, and then see how we can make our little versions of that for comps. Yeah, so that's one. I feel like comps in general are just a bit of a weird, confusing experience for families. And it's just like in and out for them because there's just no reason to stay afterwards. There's no reason to support because they don't feel like they have any skin in the game. There's just no reason why they would stay. And then unfortunately,
Mhm.
it just means that the finals are just often quite poorly attended in just local, small regional comps. And yeah, there's just no reason to stay in support. How can we change that? That would improve the experience not only for those families but for the competitors too, who have a crowd to um, perform to.
I had an experience exactly like this at the competition I went to a week and a half ago, where it was 3x3 round one. It was like 9:30 a.m. And I was walking out after I competed, and I bumped into this family in the hallway, and they were like, "Excuse me," and they had their little son with them, and they were like, "Is he going to make the next round? Do you know?" And I was like, "Well, how fast was he?" And they were like, "Oh, he got a 55-second average." And I was like, "No, I don't think so." It was a San Diego competition. Everyone's really fast. And so they're like, "Okay, let's go." And they just left. And it was like 9:15 a.m. And like the parents didn't even quite know what was
Wow.
happening. And
Yeah. Yeah.
a bunch of people do that. You're so right. The family shows up. They're not even sure what's
Yeah.
going on. The kid finishes and they're like, "All right, we're out."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a really good concept.
Yeah. I also do want to acknowledge the fact that people do think about this. So there are really,
Mhm.
really great
Oh,
competition
yes.
organizers in the world. So it's not like we're onto something new. And I'm sure the WCA has thought about this, and that delegates and organizers have considered this. They are already so hard pressed for time and energy and everything as it is. These are all unpaid volunteers, right? And so I don't want to add to their load, really. It's so easy to say, oh, wouldn't it be nice to have? But the reality of it is that there needs to be a lot more buy-in with even the people who come along with just volunteering for stuff, with putting their hands up when we need runners and judges and all that stuff. But yeah, are there side things that could happen adjacent to in the program? So there's the official things that you're competing, but then there's also, if you go to this table, this is like a puzzle table where people are showing off like stuff. Or if you go here, there's going to be I don't know, someone's running a random little workshop or something. There's a meet and greet at this point. And so there's like a parallel timetable maybe of stuff that's happening that gives you reason to stay. Um, yeah. If someone asked me to run something, I would quite happily do it. I mean, I often am part of meet and greets like at competitions. But
Mhm.
if
Yeah.
someone asked me to run a mini workshop on, I don't know, making your very first cubing YouTube video, like I would love to do that. That'd be so much fun. Um, things like that. I suspect I'm not the only one. Yeah.
Agreed. So that's a little bit about the competitor experience. New family
Mm.
shows up. What about the experience for those people interacting with serious competitors or competitive speed cubing? Where do you think are the friction points for them there? They're like, who's fast? Or they go to a competition. Like, what stops them from getting invested in the sport of cubing more seriously?
like new people.
Yeah, this family you're talking about that shows up, the kid
Yeah.
competes, and then out they go.
Yeah. It's because everyone looks the same. No way you can differentiate. I think we should have like a belt system. So like black belt and brown belt. Look, dude, I don't even know the colors of my belt. I think there should be a visual. I
Well,
think
what do
as
you mean?
someone
Visual
breaks,
system. What does that mean?
I don't know. They should get like a massive this like a neck tat every time that you break like a certain barrier, and then it just increases. Like or like ranks, like your insignia in the military, and you're like, yo, whoa, the 4-star general is here. Um, yeah, no, that's a tough question to answer. I don't think I would want to change that. With like, I think there's something quite special about sometimes at comps seeing like a dad chat to Felix Zemdex and not realize he's talking to Felix, and then they just have this like great conversation, and like that's pretty cool. That's really nice because on
Yeah.
like sure like he's Felix, but at the same time it's like I don't know, we're all people. We're all the same, and it's nice to relate to others on that human level as well. I feel that too. I like it sometimes when people don't know who I am, and then we just get to talk about cubes, and we get to talk about how much fun it is to be there. Um, yeah, that's my cop out, boring answer. I do not know.
That's cool. The talking to Felix by accident is the truest thing, though. It's so funny where you'll talk to somebody and they're like, yeah, I was talking to this one guy and I was like, oh yeah, he's like the world record holder, and they're like, he what
Yeah,
him? Oh
yeah.
wow, that's really cool. And then they
He,
like look over
he
again
just
and they're like,
happens to be
oh
he happens
man.
to be the most loved Cuba like in the universe.
Mm-hmm. Um. Hmm. So
Is it time for one of my questions?
please, yes.
No, no, no. It was so funny. I just come with my own questions that I give to my interviewer, and I'm like, okay, this is what
Go
I would
ahead.
like you to ask
Give me a
me.
question. I'll ask Tingman a pre-prepared question.
Well, I had questions. I mean, there were questions about like why I decided to like leave teaching to get into cubing. I was prepping stuff with just like why I haven't stopped making videos after this long. Maybe like things that people get wrong about YouTubers, like misconceptions and things like that. Boring stuff, all the boring stuff, Brendan.
Hmm.
And then now people
Well,
will know that I've got a prepared answer. So no, don't take those questions. Do
okay.
the
Well, then
Brendan True spin on it.
Let me ask something a little different then.
Uh
Who is Pastor Tingman, and where does Pastor
huh.
Tingman fit into the teacher cuber dad thing that you said earlier? Because
Yeah,
you glossed over it, but I feel like it's a
I
very
did.
important piece of all the stuff that happens in your life.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate that question. When I was younger, as I said before, I had a lot of really important, significant people in my life who I wanted to be like. My youth group leaders at church were often those people for me. The impact they had in my life in helping me get through my teenage years, which for everyone is just the tough years to get through. And
Mm-hmm.
doing that for me and helping me see not just that faith is like an important piece of the jigsaw, but that it is the whole thing. It's the whole picture. Like you got to just decide: are you gonna like live like God exists or not? And so like they played such an instrumental role for me. I think from a pretty young age, I've always known that I want to do something in in Christian ministry quite seriously. When it would occur, I never had like I never exactly decided when. But becoming a teacher and becoming a teacher in a Christian school, I think was like very fulfilling in terms of like, I felt I was able to teach in a way that was authentic to my faith and then even talk about my faith because I was in a Christian context and I could. I even chose to become a teacher. I was actually about to become a medical doctor and pivoted at the very last second because I wanted to still be very involved in church. Doctors can still be involved in church, of course. It's just harder because of time commitments. And so I've made like big life choices around my faith as well. But yeah, so taught for a long time. YouTube channel and all that stuff. And then as my YouTube channel grew, I think it was in 2021, that I realized I needed to report how much I was receiving from YouTube on tax. That was the year when I was like, okay, I think I have started a new job. Um, it's not just a hobby anymore because I'm earning enough that I really should be getting taxed on this. Um, that was when I realized that a shift from teaching could be possible. It also interestingly coincided with when I started to do part-time Bible college. So I completely blame the pastor of my local Bible college as he was the culprit. He came to my church and one day was just like, I think he was a guest preacher, and he said, by the way, if any of you are interested in pursuing some additional theological training, we offer classes outside of regular work hours. You can actually just do it on Monday nights. That he is to blame.
Yes.
Because I went, that sounds amazing. And so I did. And it was amazing. It was even better than I thought. I loved it. I loved doing deep dives into the Bible, being able to ask big questions that I even find scary and that would rock my faith. And I'm like, oh no, I don't know if I'm still going to be a Christian if I ask all these questions. But being in that space where we could ask big, deep intellectual, spiritual questions and having satisfying discussions about it, not necessarily satisfying answers, but satisfying discussions, and realizing that, the Christian faith is robust. The Bible is so trustworthy in ways that I didn't even realize. I loved it. Anyway, so I did more and more of that. And then gradually as YouTube grew and as I realized that I could slowly leave teaching and not be it not actually be a dangerous gamble, because I'm still supporting the family. That enabled more Bible study, study at Bible college, and enabled me to then do more at church. And I think maybe to step into the shoes of this Pastor Tingman role that I've always wanted to go towards. If I had to speak of this from a spiritual perspective, this is God doing it, right? This is not me, this is God with his 40 chess moves, planning from the very start that he knew that Ming was going to do this at some point in his life, or at this point in his life. And the way it happened is just, I can't believe in some ways God used a Rubik's Cube to get me out of teaching and to get me into Bible college and to get me into ministry. It's so crazy and it's so cool that he actually did that. And so, Pastor Tingman isn't actually just tongue in cheek. I actually have begun as of May last year, I now work part-time at my church. I'm a part-time pastor at my church. In some ways, I would say I've still got my training wheels on. I'm still learning, what it means to do people ministry and just the challenges with that. But it's so rewarding. It's so meaningful. It is such a joy being able to pastor people in the way that that word is supposed to mean. And so, is that where I'm going to end up? Am I going to just end up becoming a full-time pastor and leaving YouTube and everything behind? I don't know. I think I won't be surprised if it happens, but I don't think so necessarily that it will be an all or nothing thing.
Why has YouTube lasted so long? You sort of teed this question up earlier, but you were a teacher and you want to become a pastor, but this YouTube thing won't go away. In fact, it keeps taking over your life more in a good way. Why?
Yeah. That's a really great question. I did mention before that I think I love I love making cubing videos, but I think I like making videos more than cubing videos, which is saying something because I do really not like making cubing videos. So I think that's the longevity of it is because I really enjoy making videos. I enjoy storytelling. I enjoy the feeling of watching a good video and realizing it took me on a journey and it taught me something. And so to be able to do that for someone is incredible. That's one reason. I think also that it's just such a creative outlet for me. And so I was thinking recently, what's the difference between a YouTuber and let's say content creator, social media manager for a big company, for someone who works in Target and looks after their social media, right? What's the difference between them and a YouTuber? They both want to make content that goes really far, that goes viral, that gets seen by watched by a lot of eyeballs. They both get to be pretty creative and like push the boundaries and do funny things, and access to people and all kinds of stuff. I think the difference is that ultimately the person working at Target is sitting on their hands and has a fence around them. There's only so far they can go. They have to abide by Target's principles. They have to be something that presents the company well. Like ultimately, they are not truly making their own stuff. There actually is such autonomy on YouTube. And sure, there are constraints there too. For example, I have to make wholesome cubing videos. I can't really stray from that too much. It's a little bit confusing if I do. But I mean, I chose like where to put the goalposts. Like that's what I decided to do. And if I really wanted to make something left field and something a bit weird, I can. If I wanted to make something, if I want to just pause my regular programming and make something on something that's really important to me, I can. I can actually just speak to something. I can actually make a video that like maybe may not grow the channel, maybe may not get views or revenue and all the things that YouTubers aim for, but that talks about values and morals and about, humanity in a deep way. I can just do that if I want. And I think there's nothing like it. YouTube is it's just incredible. Like it's YouTube. It's like it's me, YouTube. Like I get to actually just express myself and be me on this place. And I think it's so intoxicating. That's a big reason I think of why I think it will be very hard for me to get rid of YouTube. Just the creative outlet of being able to make any video I want is very cool.
Yeah. So what's your next big idea? You probably have some brain space now that Tingman Live is over. How are you going to exercise all that creative freedom?
Well, there's this mission called the Artemis 5, and I plan to smuggle a Rubik's Cube onto the spacecraft. So don't tell anyone if NASA's watching. Yeah, sorry, I haven't told you about this yet, but that is what I plan to do.
Okay. I'm just going to make a call to one of my insiders and let them know
That's right.
that you're coming.
What's the next big thing? I mean, nothing like crazy groundbreaking. We're going to continue doing what we do. But there's so many videos lined up. I have a crazy amount of video ideas that never diminishes. My problem right now is editing time. I'm sitting on nearly 30 videos, I would say, with both long form and short form. And I actually just need to edit and I need to get through it. So that's probably the main constraint right now, but there's no shortage of videos. I know I need to pull back a little bit and be thinking maybe less about videos and more about big picture, like packaging the videos well and thinking about like scaling the business. Not necessarily like to be way bigger, but scaling in terms of like sustainability. Those are questions that I know I need to be thinking about. Not working just in the business, but on the business. That's really what's next for me, which is a big thing for me. It's maybe not the answer you're looking for, but that's a big step for me. Thinking like, just optimizing it so that I am not just churning out videos that no one's watching, but I'm actually doing it in an intelligent way, and I'm doing stuff to keep the channel sustainable. That's really the next big thing for me. Yeah, which could look like hiring more people. It could look like tapping on more local talent. I would actually really love to be able to work with more people who are like in Australia, in Brisbane as well. Like I really love working with people around the world, but they're just people here in person who I really could be working with as well and mentoring. And so yeah, that's a 2026. Is it 2026? Yes, it is. That's a this year.
We're 4 months in.
Me. Yeah. How can I be maybe moving it into that like even that mentoring space to see new generations come in, and yeah, again, it's that being what those people were to me. That's so important, making a difference in individual lives. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Could you mentor me for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if we think about, let's go back like 3 or 4 questions, and we're thinking about cubing as like this big sphere, and there's the competitive cubing corner, and there's like the casual cubing, and there's a whole bunch of different neighborhoods within cubing as a whole. I am decidedly within this little speed cubing niche, probably toward an audience who is over the age of 13 on average. Not all. I know some of you are children, but given my very specific niche and the way that I make videos being like long, unedited, chill, how should I think about growing the channel this direction? When I started, I was like, I'm going to become a world-class speed cuber, and now I think that's a terrible idea. But I love making videos, and like I'm enjoying putting this stuff out, right? So what's your YouTuber instinct for next step to help Brandon grow this little corner of speed cubing? Is it like a certain genre of shorts? Because I feel like shorts are very different from what I normally do. I know you've told me you should post shorts, but I don't know like if there's a type that fits in. Is there another video format that I should introduce? What's your instinct?
Yeah, you're right. We've gone through this whole thing with barely mentioning shorts at all. Shorts is an entirely different strategy is the challenge there. And so there are people who are just entirely shorts creators and they lean hard into that and then find it really hard to come out of that and to make long form. That's one challenge. It's way easier to go into shorts if you started with long form and then figure out ways to let them cross pollinate. That's my thinking with you in terms of like tapping into the shorts audience, that even if the vast majority of those people may not convert into like long form viewers, a bunch of them still will. And it's ways to let people discover you. So the short strategy the short strategy for you really makes sense for me. And I'm so sure you can do it in ways that are relatively low effort and that, it just, expose the videos that you make to a much wider audience. What should those shorts look like? That's $1 million question. I think you're at the stage where you actually can just like spray bullets and then see what happens. Sorry for the military analogy. I was
American.
in the Singapore
I'm immune
Army.
to
Fun
it.
fact. Yeah, that's right. And you're American. I think at your stage, you actually can spray your bullets and just try a bunch of different things and see what the combination of what works and what you found fun, what you found enjoyable, because then there'll be longevity there. So that's my thought there for shorts. When it comes to you, however, as a person, you're right. You are in a very particular niche within a niche within a niche. And so like, who's going to watch those videos? However, people will if they care. And so my tip to you there is that you need to give them reasons to care. You need to give them reasons to care about what it is you're talking about. But I also think you need to give them reasons to care about you. I think that's why that, I am aiming to is such a winning formula, because I now kind of want to see this guy succeed or not succeed. There are stakes there now. And so I'm a bit reticent to see you like entirely abandon your goal. I wonder if there are ways that it could be more doable and realistic. I don't know. I actually still feel we haven't even talked about this before. This is I'm speaking on the spot.
Please.
I think to me that's actually pretty core to like your identity as a YouTuber. It's how you begin all your videos, and so my gut instinct is that you need to retain some of that in some form, so that I've got a reason to root for you. I've got a reason to be in your corner, and I want to see you do that. But then at the same time, you're also delivering all these other things. I think it also gives me a bit of confidence that you are speaking from some expertise, that you're someone with skin in the game too, and so you care. And so when you interview all these people, you're not a complete outsider.
Yeah, for sure, agree.
And so that to me is a really big one. Like, give me a reason to care.
Yeah, let's double click on this then. Let's double click on that, because I really want to keep pursuing like cubing excellence, but I don't know what goal is both a good stretch goal, but also not crazy. I'm so far down the cubing rabbit hole that my points of comparison are near world-class people. So I got sub 10 and I was like, great, bare minimum. Whereas to most people, that's the goal, right? Is get sub 10 in competition.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so like for you and thinking through like the lens of your audience, what is a benchmark goal that I could set for myself over the next, year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not as crazy as be in the top 16 on the day at a major, but is still a stretch goal that kind of
Yeah.
I'm working toward, I'm going toward, and has a ring to it that's nice for people who watch the videos.
Oh, that's tough. That's a you problem, dude. Don't make me do the hard work for you. No, I'm just kidding. I think that you actually really get to set your goalposts wherever you want. That's reasonable. I say that because, like, I just watched Ryan Trahan's, like, I took the longest train ride across America video yesterday, and like he didn't. It was a combination of a bunch of different, train
Mm,
rides.
yeah.
It wasn't truly across America. It was sort of like around the perimeter, and he acknowledged that in the video. But like the title still stands. Also, he took a flight to Alaska. It wasn't purely like on a train, but he figured it out in a way that, like, while I was watching it, I didn't really feel cheated. I didn't feel like, oh, it was clickbait, dude. You got me in this. Like, no, you actually delivered on the video, and this was really fun to watch. And I I I agree that you took the longest train ride across America. I think that you have a lot more flexibility than you realize. That's an easy way to put that, because again, I haven't given you an answer. Could it look like getting like a gold? Being on the podium X number of times, getting first place in a competition. That's not easy. Like, getting first place in a competition is pretty hard. To come first in the main event of that comp. Livia Kleiner just posted this week that she finally got first place in 3x3 after, like, I don't know, 13 years or something. I'm like, dude, that makes no sense. Like, Livia, like, you in 13 years, you've never ever come first at 3x3. And she was like, yeah, this is actually, like, yeah, that's ridiculous. And so, like, that isn't easy, coming first at a comp. But it's not like, making finals at the next Worlds. It is a
Right.
lot more doable. But and I even wonder if, like, to the to the non-cuber or the person new at cubing, it sounds the same, or it sounds even
Mm-hmm.
better. I want to place first at a cubing competition. It's like, wow, cool, that's amazing. Sure,
Yeah.
let's do that. I wonder
I
if that
love
sounds the
your
same.
advice that I have more flexibility than I was giving myself credit for. When I love the Ryan Trahan example, because you're right. You can say whatever you want. You can say my goal is, this thing, and you created your own goalpost, and if you follow it, you're good. I think I kind of felt this guilt of like I started and I was like major finals and everything. And then I was like,
Mm,
that's crazy. And everybody who heard that was like, you can do that for the big cubes, but 3x3, I don't know. And I was like, well, it's either that or nothing. Looks like it's nothing.
yeah,
But I still I
yeah,
still want to
yeah. That's right.
improve. I'm still practicing like every day. I'm still getting faster at all those same events at home. And also
Yeah,
Pyraminx now. I've been getting coaching on that, and my hands are cramping because Pyraminx is weird. But like, I still want to improve, and I still want to have the goal to shoot for. So you're right. I can just like
yeah.
make it a different storyline.
Yeah, absolutely. In a way that's not cheating. There will still be
Hmm.
haters, of course. There always are, but who cares? You're not making those videos for them. This is YouTube as well. No one's forcing anyone to watch anything. If they don't want to watch your stuff, go find something else. I think you have so much flexibility. I have a business mentor, and one of the most common things he tells me when I come to him with stuff that I'm dealing with is, I don't think this is a dichotomy. That's one of the most common things he tells me. I was like, oh, dude, yes, I know. I could have
That's such
predicted
good
that.
advice. That is such good advice. And you know what? If I get back to this, I bet there's a super good short form video series that I can make if I reframe
Yes,
the competitive growth goal and then I just make
yes,
a
yes,
week one
yes.
of training to be a whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yes,
what it looks like,
100%.
but I'm sure
I'm
that there's a
excited
cool
about that
shorts
series
format in
already.
that.
I'm down.
Okay.
I'm down to watch this hypothetical, like, future series. That already sounds interesting. Yeah. That
Hmm.
scratches so many itches.
Okay. Well, yeah. Now I just got to think about. Yeah, there's a lot that'll go into it because I want it to be good. But
Mm,
okay.
yeah. I know. It's
I have
so hard for
whiteboarding to
us
do.
YouTubers. it's so hard for us content creators because we get so excited about our ideas, and then we're like, you release your baby into the world, and if people don't watch it or people don't like it, it's like, you don't like me. And like my wife often,
Yeah.
tells me like, like try not to, we don't want to like put too much of us into it because it's like, don't take it personally. They just didn't like the video. It's not like a reflection of you. And I'm like, I hear that. But as an artist, it is a reflection of me. Like,
Yes.
part of me actually isn't in that video. Like, that's what it means to make art. Like, this isn't just like brainless, soulless AI stuff. It's like part of me as a human went into this video. And so I actually can't not take it personally if it's not liked and if people don't watch it. And I think the challenge is not to take it personally, but to like, what do you do with that feeling? Like, take it personally and then like move on, like take the next step and keep going and grow from that. It was difficult and embrace that, and let's just get better. Let's make something else. Let's not like spend too much time on it, even though it does hurt, and it's okay for it to hurt when people don't like your videos. Let's just keep going.
That's super good advice. When I released Cubing Bootcamp the first time around, there will be another one. But I just remember, like, number one, the fear of announcing it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, will people buy it? And number two, just the gut punch of the immediate comments going, oh, he's just a hustle bro selling a course. And it's like, dude.
I know.
It's like, painful. Oh my goodness. It's this fear of like, will people buy the thing? Because that's an identity thing too. It's not even just art. It's like, can I make money off of this? And it's not like I released it because I want it to be my job. It was like, well, it could help some people and it won't be a bad use of my time. But yeah, I have had that exact same feeling, and it's not fun.
Yeah. It's so hard. That's what I said at the start. It's so much easier to pull people down than to lift them up. And so that's one reason why I really respect you. And I'm so glad that you are, to me, one of the most amazing things to have happened in the world of, cubing YouTube, because you have brought freshness into this space. You are, delivering on something that we just haven't really seen before. And you are continuing to do it. Like you didn't just stop after like 2 months. And I really appreciate that about you. You can make all your own decisions and quit whenever you want, but I hope you never do. You can choose to whenever you want. But I really respect what you do. I appreciate what you do in this space. And it's one reason why from really early on, I actually was already really hoping I would get to be in a Brendan True video. I'm not kidding. I like really, really early on. I went to your like spreadsheet of like people who you wished could come onto your thing, saw that I was there, and I was like, let's go. I can't believe it. He actually like would not mind to like, chat to me. And so it was really cool that we got to, we not only got to do this video, but like we actually just got to hang out for a few weeks, like, last month. It was a great trip. Of the greatest experiences ever.
Yeah. First vlog is already on the Tingman channel. Go watch that after you watch this. Hopefully soon.
Yeah, that's right.
The Disney vlog is up.
The Houston video is nearly done. That's going to be out like hopefully in a week or so as well. I'm not sure about the Disney one. That one hopefully not too long after. Yeah, I've been accelerating a few. I'm letting a few of these just completely like jump the queue and just come early because they're just so much fun. So the Houston video is
the Walmart short that we filmed where I solved the cube in there, and how I hit the rack as I was running through. Yep. So I have a scar. Like I still have a scar right here on my arm.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
So
dude,
for the people who don't know yet, like the video's not out yet, but like we did this challenge where I had to find the Rubik's Cube in Walmart and then buy it and solve it in a certain amount of time. So as I was very purposefully walking through Walmart, I smashed into a clothing rack and I cut my arm. Not badly, I thought, but my forearm still has a little scar on it. So every time I look at my arm there, I think of Tingman.
I feel so bad about it. And so I literally just edited that short yesterday, and it's good to go. Like it's completely ready to go. I was waiting for like maybe the Houston video so I could synchronize with that. But you know what? I'm going to synchronize the release of that short with this video.
Hey,
So
let's
let me know.
go.
Let me know when this comes out, and I will get that Walmart short out right away, so people who are listening to this right now can go straight there,
Awesome.
and watch that short. That was painful to watch as well. I'm sorry, I
This will
couldn't even
be
include it in the short. I considered it, but I was like, no, I actually can't. I can't put it in. It genuinely looked painful to see
yeah,
you
this
like
is in the next day or
get
two. This will be
get
like tomorrow
injured.
or the day after.
Uh,
Cool.
yeah.
Any final thoughts or things that I didn't ask about that you wanted to talk about?
Anaerobic, if you're watching this, I just wanted to put it out into the ether that I would love to meet you one day. So yeah. I was thinking recently on like pipe dreams, stuff that would be cool to have accomplished in my cubing career, in my YouTube career. And I was like, meeting the maker, meeting the architect. So
The maker.
I'm just
That sounds very sci-fi.
like Matrix,
You're like
when you meet
C3PO, like
when you
thank
meet
the
yeah.
maker.
Thanks the maker. Yeah, that's right. We're all just like I'm thinking like Toy Story, where all the aliens are like the claw. It's like the maker. It's
Yes.
like he's coming.
Dude. My
So
wife and I watched Toy Story 2 last night, and I forgot how good early Pixar was. We went and we
it's
watched
so good.
Hoppers
That's so
a few days
amazing. I
ago,
know.
and I liked
Yeah.
Hoppers. I was
Was that
like,
good?
Pixar's back. And then I watched Toy
Yeah.
Story 2, and I was like, oh my goodness. They were so good back in the day. They fell off so
Yeah.
hard. This is amazing.
That's exactly right. So it's a low chance, but it's not zero that Erno
Yeah.
is watching this. And so shout out to you. Thank you so much for inventing the Rubik's Cube. And if there's any way I could meet you one day, that would be sick. That would be amazing.
Absolutely. And if you're willing to come on for an interview on a small YouTube channel, I would also love to talk.
Also, let Brandon interview you. That would be great.
All right. Cool. Well, Tingman, I ask everybody the same question at the end of all my interviews. What aspect of cubing gives you the deepest joy?
Doing it with other people. Yeah, that's
Boom.
an easy one. Like you said before.
The
Getting-
end.
Yeah. Yeah. The fact that it's a solo activity that it's somehow also so social. It just blows my mind that it's like only one person can solve the cube at a time, arguably. But the fact that I get to race with my daughter, the fact that I get to go to comps and meet people, like it's just so great. Yeah. It's so cool. Yeah. Also, knowing that you're the second fastest senior in the entire world for something is pretty amazing as well.
There you go.